My heart goes out to them and to you, young lady, Ms. Green, in your loss. You know, we keep borrowing this money, but this money is never borrowed to cover the most important thing in a village, and that's public safety. We had a shooting a few weeks ago, right down the street, over there by Dynasty Apartments. A young man was shot. Praise God, he lived. Now we have a gentleman at Hickok who didn't make it, Rodney Reed. Myself and Miss Taylor, EastCom probably knows us on the first name basis, because that's how often we call them. We call them all the time because of all the shootings. I have put it, that's okay, because you know, I know they play games. But I'm gonna say what I got to say anyway. We call all the time because of all these shootings out here. But y'all can find money to get a truck, whatever else is on here, to pay $2,000 to Mr. Griffin, but we can't get more police officers. And we had a long discussion with Commander Wilson. I'm not blaming her. She sat, she listened. We told her the whole 9 yards about what's going on. Maybe some of y'all in the area where y'all don't hear the gunshots. We hear them constantly, and it's terrible. It's getting out of hand. Summer is on the horizon. What is gonna be done to get money? If y'all can borrow for this, y'all can borrow for some police officers. Because I'm pretty sure you're paying out money in overtime. And I mean, they're burning both ends of the candle. That doesn't make sense to me. How many more people are gonna lose their life or get shot? How many of our children are gonna be safe this summer? There's nothing Park and Rec is really doing, that same old dead day camp they offer. I'm just being honest, no pool. There's nothing for our children, so we need our children covered. We need ourselves covered, our seniors covered. So I want to know if you can keep borrowing money for this, X, Y, and Z, and then y'all keep talking about, oh, when the property tax money, that's a lot of, well, I hope it's a lot of property tax money, because every time y'all take out a loan, y'all talking about when the property tax. So I want to know what's happening with that. I also want to know, why would y'all vote on construction, and then they didn't even have the entire bill? But I know Mr. Payton, along with y'all was saying, oh, go ahead, vote aye y'all way out of here, because this is getting sick. You're gonna vote on construction, you don't have an itemized bill. What sense does that make to have people put it on the back end? That doesn't make sense. I want to have somebody come to my house and I'm gonna sign the dotted line, but its charge is not in here, but you can do that on the back end. That's why we're in trouble now. That's why we can't even afford the things that we're doing, because we keep getting sued, and all we got is liability insurance, which doesn't pay much, but it's costing us $641,000. It's ludicrous, it's dumb. I'm not understanding how y'all are thinking. And maybe Robinson Engineer would have been the best ones to do it, but I don't even think we paid them correctly. And originally, when Gary, you came on board, I was all hats off to you. But lately, y'all kind of slacking. I'm not seeing the work being done. When Bowler was here, them trucks were moving. People were doing their work. You saw the move. Now I see nothing. You got a resident, I don't want to call her name out here, asking for people to help clean up. And I really think that was just during the election to get people to talk about the vote. And then you talk about dirty laundry. At the finance meeting, you made it a point to bring up the fact that you didn't mention Ms. Wilson's name, but you were referring to the time she went on Channel 7. And you referred to it more than one time about airing our dirty laundry. Well, what did you think about when your 3 trustees went on the air and aired the dirty laundry and told the lies and did what they did? Did you know about it? Did you talk to them? Maybe you can't control them, but you certainly should have admonished them and said, hey, we got a black mark on us. We don't need this publicity. But no, right away, they go ahead, call Channel 7 News, then they go on to Cliff Kelly, and they spill all of our tea. So maybe that was their going away gift to us. We don't want that. We don't want the dirty laundry. So somebody needs to get smart, make some smart decisions, and get this city back into shape. Because right now, it's a catastrophe. It's pitiful. And we sit here day after day, y'all sit there numb, and we get nowhere. But we always talk about, oh, we gonna borrow money for this, we gonna borrow money for that, and then we gonna be up the stream with a ship without a sail again. So it's time to get smart and get some of these things done. And I don't want to be like that little girl that got killed in Joliet, how the people kept coming out, and they didn't see anything wrong, did they? But then when she's dead, now we see all the trash, we see all the dirt, all the garbage, when DCF went out. Right. So that's what's gonna happen here. We're gonna keep bringing it to you. We need police, we need police, we need help. And then when somebody else's child is laying there, their blood is crying out from the street, then we're gonna do something? So this is terrible. So I wish y'all well, the ones that's going, but I can't wait for the new ones to get in here and hopefully make some strides.
Well, this is the first time that, as far as...
Everybody's been standing up there forever.
Okay, well, for 20 years, we've been in a deficit. When I made the statement that when we went on the news, it wasn't just Trustee Wilson. I was on the news, the mayor was on the news, all of us were on the news. So I didn't name a name at all. I said when we were on the news. Didn't name her name at all.
You said the year. You said March 2016.
We all went on, every single one of us was on the news in March. That's the same time we had our layoffs. That's when the farm shut down.
A couple of weeks ago, they were on it.
And they were too. None of us should have been on the news. But unfortunately, because this village has had the fiscal damage and we're newsworthy, the whole thing is trying to diminish any publicity for this village. For the past year and a half, we've been talking about trying to be subdued, getting our behavior together, people coming to the mic asking us to get along. I'm sorry.
Can I say something? I'm just going to suggest that if we really want to clean up and stay off the news and stay out of the media, then suggest heavily that all these people run the Kankakee newspaper, whatever the name that they just continue it. And they're sitting up there and they know what I'm talking about.
Not only that, the village should only have one spokesperson that goes on the news.
That's right.
And that hasn't been in process for a while. I mean, like I said, we're all guilty. Every single person in March was on the news. Then we turned around and went on the news again. We need to stay out of the news. There's no doubt about it. If we're looking to get forgiveness for all the things that we've done and spending all the money while we don't have roads because we spent the money, all these discussions have been in finance committee meetings. It's been going on for a year and a half. The deficit didn't just start. It's been over 20 years. It's just that now, I've said this over and over again, it's hitting home because it's the reality right now. We can't have anything because we don't have any money. We would love to do all these wonderful things, but until we're not going to have money for a while because we're going to have to turn around and pay back everybody that we owe. And a lot of you have been to those meetings and you've listened to what's been going on. And yes, our dirty laundry's here. We have reporters in the audience right now. We have a website that everybody goes out on and airs our dirty laundry there. We're all guilty. So as much as we are guilty and as much emphasis that we're putting on the fact that we're broke, take that energy and accept the fact that we're broke, and let's work together and minimize what we can. But bottom line is, we have several categories that we're going to have to pay back. We've only just begun. And when we say call in the experts, we just brought in experts to identify what our deficit is so that a plan can be put in place. The struggle has been real, and trying to get it as cleaned up as possible before the new board comes in. And the new board, unfortunately, still has deficit. They're going to recognize the true deficit when the audit is over, but you're right back to square one. All these wants and needs and desires, how are you going to get them if you got to pay everybody back? And the people that we pay can come in and shut us down. So we need to behave so that we can get forgiveness and people can see that we're doing everything possible to remedy our wrong.
Okay, with that said, Ms. Green, Ms. Riley, Ms. Williams, I've gone several times to Washington and I've just left. I just came back. To give you good news, I've been doing this, and that credit card I guess won't get around because it's been out of my pocket. I was there for a week with African American mayors and managers. I met with South Suburban mayor managers, Will County mayor managers, metropolitan mayor managers, and I talked to people not on a state level but the federal level. And I will continue to do that. I will be back out there in September. I'm trying to work with them as far as federal fundings. We're gonna hold a town hall meeting here, and some of them has been so gracious to come and talk to us. Noble is one. I talked to the police chief already. Noble is a national organization for black law, and they're going to come and help us and our police officers at a program at no cost. We have other people with housing authorities that's going to come, and I'm going to ask you guys to work as a group, volunteer, again, no cost to the village, and work with the housing. They're going to come here and structure you on how to host and do a housing committee. We're going to have 4 or 5 people from Washington, D.C. come here, help us financially, grants, scholarships, everything we need to try to get our village aboard. It's going to take a while, but I'm working very hard for that. And it costs me thousands of dollars to do this, but it's worth it to me for the village. And I do spend my own money to do that. So I love you guys, and I hear you, and it is important because I hear the gunshots. People walk across my backyard. I've been vandalized as well, and it's not a good feeling. They stole things off my patio, bust my window in my truck, my personal truck. That's not good. My dog, I guess I have a Rottweiler now, and he patrols the house. And he smells anything that walks past my house now. And when he walks within the house. I do not let him in the yard, he's in the house. So you come in there, you gotta greet him. And he's no puppy. And that's a shame that we have to do that. But we're also trying to get a program with the security companies to see if we can do a discount for seniors in the village for there and some of the people that can't afford some type of security, to see that they can give us a deal so people can have alarm systems in their houses that can't afford it. So with that said, I'm letting you know that I'm working hard every level I can. We have meetings in September with Durbin, even Kurt. I don't care what color, blue, stripe, what side they sit on. If they have funding that can help us financially, I'm going for it. Just to let you know. Thank you. The next person on the agenda here is Johnny. Oh, Johnny, I haven't seen you for a while.
I've been quiet.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
What's your last name, Johnny?
Rice.
Rice, okay.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we're just, y'all, you gonna get new people in here and maybe y'all can all get along. I don't expect y'all to agree with each other, but at least respect each other. Y'all grown people, for God's sake, you're grown men and women. And y'all can't just treat each other fairly? Y'all can't treat each other with respect? You know, I work with people who I don't like, but I still respect them.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can't do that, then y'all need to quit. Find something else to do. Because you're supposed to be here to solve problems, not act like children, little spoiled kids. Enough's enough. I'm glad we get new people in here. There are people on this board who I do like, who are leaving, who I didn't vote for because they act like children. Enough. I'm very happy you called this special meeting because I can get to say to the people who are leaving, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Okay, with that said, we have, I think the executive session, is that necessary? We're gonna call executive session, okay.
Somebody left their phone. Is that your phone? Okay.
A motion to adjourn to executive session for what? It says personnel. That's all it says here. I don't know what it's about anyway, so. Okay. Turn for executive session for personnel issues. Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved by trustee Rudez, second. Second by trustee Larry Brown. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you all for coming tonight, and hope to see you on the 2nd for the inauguration celebration.